What's up guys, in this video I'm going to show you how you can install a module into your Ford Ranger T6, T7, T8. As long as it's 2012 plus, you can install this module into your car so that when you press the lock button it closes the mirrors. When you press the unlock button it opens the mirrors. I'll leave a link down in the description to where you can pick the module up, so where you can get this from. But enough of that, let's get into the install. So here's the mirror from the outside. Got the key here. When I lock the car, it locks, nothing happens there. Unlock the car, unlocks, nothing happens there. So that's what we're going to be changing. So if I go inside, if I come inside the car, I'll try and get this. You can see the mirror and the button. If I press the button, oh sorry, the ignition is to be on. There it is. Okay, I pressed the ignition and then the button closed. But now I can press the button, as you can see, and it opens and it closes. So you want to check that works before you even start this in the first place. So now that we've confirmed that's working and all good, we can start the process. Just a little FYI for when you guys are doing this. When you're doing the install and you're gonna test it and everything, before you plug in the main box and everything like that, make sure your mirrors are already out. So push that, make sure the mirrors are already outwards. Don't have them inwards. Because even in the instructions in there, it tells you to have the mirrors out whilst doing the install. I don't know why, but you might as well follow it before you do something wrong. So have the mirrors outwards when doing everything. Okay, so the first thing you're going to want to do is come down here to this panel right here, put your hand here and just pull it, and it will come straight off just like that. And then that gives you access to the wires that you need to connect to. So right here you'll see this connector right here. There's like two of them. There's one down here and there's one here. You just want to push this little part in, which will then release this white clip to come over it. I'll try to do it with one hand, but I'm using my thumb to push that in. As you see, it releases this. I can push that to the side, then just pull this harness out. Then you'll see all the wires here that you'll need. I'm just going to remove this black tape around here to free up the wires a bit more. So the way that I'm going to be wiring this up is that when I press the lock button on the key, the mirrors close. When I press the unlock button on the key, the mirrors open. So that's the way how I'm installing it. You can install it so that when you lock the car, the mirrors close and they only open once you turn on the car's ignition. But I don't want it like that, so I'm doing it this way. But if you want it to come on with the car's ignition, then you will do everything that I do in this video. But what you won't do is you won't connect the unlock wire from the module to the purple wire with a green stripe on the car's harness. So you only don't connect that if you want the mirrors to unlock with the car's ignition being turned on. But if you want the mirrors to fold and unfold with the key, then just follow the entire video. So if you come to your harness down here that we just unclipped, you'll see one, here's the purple wire right here that my thumb is touching. Purple wire with green chase. And then we have the back here, like right next to it says the purple wire with green chase. And then we have the grey wire with the brown stripe. So those are two we're going to use. And then you turn this round, you'll see the other big thick red wire right there. That's going to be your power. So those are the three cables we're going to be using. And on this harness, this side, these sides here, as you already know, are going to plug straight into this box. So these two will go into the box. These two are going to connect into your connections up here for your mirrors. And then you'll just be left with these loose ends. And they're nicely labeled, as you can see here. So you know exactly which one goes to what. So you have the power wire which is that red one in here. And you've got the door actuator unlock, which is that one. Then the other one's going to be the door actuator lock. So now that you know all of that, I'm going to connect these two wires up here so that we can be done with that up there and just deal with the wires to go down there. So to take this off, it's quite easy actually. You don't need any special tools or nothing like that. Just grab it like under here, like where my fingers are. I'm just grabbing here. I'm just gonna pull it and then pull that off. It comes out just like that. Easy, nothing's broken. The same with up here. Just grab it somewhere you can grab it from, pull it, just like that. It pops out, nothing's broken. And this is the connector we're gonna be taking out. So you're just gonna pinch this clip here and then pull it out, but I can't do it with one hand. Here's the connector. I got it out of there just like that. So what you're going to do is the female side here, you're going to plug into that connector, and the male side you're going to put back into this connector. There you go. So I've got that plugged in there and I've got that one plugged in there. They can only go in one way as well, so you can't mess it up, as they can only connect in one way. So once you've got those in, I'm just going to tuck the rest of these wires down this hole, and then I'm going to put this back in. Sorry for the bad angles, I'm trying to do this all with one hand. But I've got them tucked down in there. So I'm going to push that on, line it up here and clip it back into place. So get that in, then just push it in. Make sure it's nice and firm and on. Make sure that there's no gaps or anything. You know that that's back on there, nice and good. So now you've got that back on. You can just make sure none of the wires that you just fed down are snagged or anything like that, to which they are not, which is good. Now you've got plenty of wire for those ones to plug into that harness. You can also go ahead and put this one back in as well, just the same thing. Just line up the holes. So, oh, sorry, it's meant to be this one. So you can also go ahead and put this one back in. You're just going to want to line up these holes again. Clip it in on one side. Let me just make sure I'm putting it in the right place. So, oh, filming with one hand is so tough. Okay, so I'm going to put that in there, push that in a bit, push that in a bit. Give it a good few love taps, and then that's in there. So both these pieces are now back in. All you have to do is deal with down here now, with these wires and connecting this into this box a bit later on. So now I'm going to connect the power, the signal unlock and lock to the cables in here I showed you earlier. So remember, the power cable, which is going to be the red one, that's going to go to that thick red wire in this harness that you see here, this thick red one. Then there's the thick grey and brown wire, which is the door lock. Then there's the thick purple and green wire, which is the unlock. So just connect those to these ones that say power, which is a 12-volt power, the unlock and lock. That's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to be using this wire splicing tool to just put this on the harness and splice the wires to make a little slit along the wire so that I can wrap one of these around it. Okay, so as you can see here, I've just spliced the red wire So now that bit in between, you can see the cable. So I've stripped this end. Now that they're both stripped, I can wrap both of them together so that they make contact. Okay, so as you can see, the red wire, which is the power one, is now wrapped around this one. And I'm just going to end up using this cloth looking electrical tape, and then I'm going to wrap that around those two wires so that they're not exposed. I would recommend you solder these wires so that they're more secure, but this is something that's going to stay in place. There's not going to be much movement here to grab this wire off. That's why I'm just going to use this electrical tape to wrap around it. But I would suggest you solder the wires first, or just use stronger electrical tape, because this isn't really all that strong. You should use like that black type, like the really strong electrical tape as well, if you're going to do it like this. But there's that one. Now I'm just going to do the same for the unlock and lock. I've already stripped the other two wires, so I'm just going to connect them to these. Okay, so now all three of these have now been connected and wrapped with the electrical tape. So now these two wires here that are the last two left, they're going to plug into this module. So I'm going to plug them in and test if everything works. So you're going to want to test if everything works before you then go put everything back together. But when you are testing it, you have to plug this module back in. So I'm going to plug the module back in and plug this in as well. So to plug this connector back in, you're just going to want to put it back. It's really dark now, so I can't even really see what I'm doing properly. So it's probably even worse for you guys watching. So I do apologize. But you're just going to want to put it back over the hole, push it back in where it came from, then pull this back down like that, and it will clip into place properly. Decided to take these out again, and with those little wires that we just plugged into the main harness, I just brought them back up here and wrapped them in electrical tape in a bundle, just so that they're out the way and they can just sit tucked behind here when I put it back, so that down here looks a lot more clean. Whilst I've still got this one out, the module that's here in the pack it comes with this sticky adhesive pad, double-sided. So I'm gonna put one side on the back here and I'm gonna stick it right back in there. I'm gonna try to see if I can get the flash on. There we go. Should have done this from before so you guys could see a lot more of what I was doing. But I'm gonna get this with the double-sided pad, and I'm gonna stick the box right in this gap over here like that. So it's just gonna stay up there. Then this will be able to clip back in as well, and the box will be nice and hidden up there, and everything down here will look normal again, and that connector's back in. So I'm gonna stick that in there and then put this back on, and then I'll put this door piece that we took off earlier, which just goes into there and over there, and then you just fold it back up and it clips in. Okay, so everything is put back together again now and looks good. So now if I turn on the ignition to the car and do this again, you'll see if I press the mirror button, the mirror goes in. Press the mirror button again, it goes out. Now if I turn the ignition off and then close the door, I'll come around to this side. As you can see now, when I lock the car, the mirror folds, and when I unlock the car, the mirror opens. And just for the purpose of the video, I'll show you the other side as well. Lock, it folds, unlock, it opens. So yes, that was the video. If you guys did like the video, leave a like, subscribe, do all that stuff. And until next time, peace.